Hello and welcome to the Eli Show. I'm your host, Eli Tanner, and let's start season 2 off with a bang. Well, I said new year, new me, and yes, I added fog to, my little studio here. Had a fog machine for a while, but said, why not put it to use here on the podcast? Am I seeing a little foggy to you with the camera? Don't worry, I'm okay. It's no smoke. It's just, well, a new season. Season 2, season 1 was amazing. It was 7 episodes, had great 26 subscribers now, and a few 1K videos, but I'm stepping up my game, adding fog, more hot takes, and everything you can think of. Well, I'll tell you what, 2026, I think it's going to be a great year in sports, in everything, I feel like. News, well, always a little crazy, especially the start of the year. I'm not going to talk exactly about it, but I'll say think open minded about your news. I don't care which side you're on in America, maybe even in the world if you're listening in Europe. I don't care where you're listening. If you're a sports fan and if you like to hear me talk for 15 minutes straight or listen to my shorts, well, this is the show, the Eli Show podcast. And by the way, fog will go off when there's a hot take or a fact that I really like or the fans might think is controversy. Well, let's start off with some college football, and we have the Final Four teams. It's really different, and now that the portal is open, coaching, firings happening both in the NFL and in college football, and it's a little crazy going around the world. I mean, in America, but college football Final Four, Oregon, Old Miss, and then we have Indiana, and we have Indiana, and it's all crazy. And when it comes down to the teams, none of these teams are powerhouse. And Miami, sorry about Miami, left Miami out, but we have Old Miss, Miami, Oregon, Indiana. Those, first of all, none of those teams have won a national championship since 2001, and that one team has won a national championship was Miami. Oregon, they're pretty good each year, have not won a national championship. Indiana, looking like one of the best teams against Alabama, has not won a national championship. Old Miss never won a national championship. And I think the crazy thing about this is it's not because of all of the great talent, because there is a lot of great talent. It's because you can't build a program anymore. It's more like not exactly a luck game, but a guess who game, strategy, you know? And if you take it and you look right now, all the people going all around, there's what, 20% of college football players transfer? I think I saw that. That's a crazy number. That's why the playing field, there's not going to be any dominant programs like Alabama, Georgia, even Clemson did, or Trevor Lawrence having 3 or 4 years with a strong quarterback, a strong connected team, because that's not what college football is anymore. And it's now about money, now about a little bit of greed, you know? And that's why some teams, the SEC, they're getting hit hard. One team in the Final Four when they had, what, 5 teams starting the playoffs? Their odds are not great. And if you look, the Big Ten is really it's what really is dominating college football right now. And SEC, great year. And to be honest, college football has not been the most exciting games. It's been low scoring. It's been defense games. So is a lot of the games I've been watching. It's mostly defenses. Most of the bowl games, defenses, because the talent is spread out a little more, and there's not a tight group, so the offense is not good. So wide receivers and quarterbacks have not spent 4 years in training because they go for championships and money, and those two factors never never equal a dominant program. Equals more defensive than offensive. Now, I'll tell you what, NFL, and at the start of my podcast, episode 1, I said it's I don't like the NFL regular season. They're trying to do something on me. And I'll tell you what, that week 18, it was good. It was good indeed. It's because of what, to me, it seemed like there's a lot on the line for some teams. And for others, you could tell they're out. Panthers, Tampa Bay, great game, but low scoring. A lot of these games, low scoring. And last night, Monday Night Football wasn't low scoring. You're just unlucky if you're a Baltimore Ravens fan. And now you see today, I was watching the herd, and he called it it's a bad Monday to be a coach in the NFL. Because if you had a bad season, you're probably out. 3 coaches out today. It's outrageous, but it's coming. It's like college football, but this is what NFL has always been. And the coaching is crazy. And now that you have four of the top quarterbacks, Mahomes, you have Josh Allen not having a great year, Jalen Hurts not having a great year, and now Lamar Jackson out of the playoffs. Now, really, Jalen Hurts has an off and on year. And I'll tell you what, Josh Allen, like I've said, he's not the best. And this is the time to shine against the underdogs, I think, against the Jaguars. And Jaguars is a team to sleep. Everyone's sleeping on the Jaguars, and I'll tell you why. Because they've never watched the full game of the Jaguars. They've never seen how powerful they are. They haven't seen how good they can blow teams out, how good they can beat good teams. And I'm just going to say it. Josh Allen has his job's on the line right here. And I think if you're the Bills, you're watching. I think if you're the Bills GM, you're watching for possibly a new coach if you lose this game. Maybe looking into a new quarterback. I know Josh Allen's been all this great, but Trevor Lawrence has looked like a better quarterback. He's built this up. And now both of these quarterbacks have something to show. And I got Jacksonville winning it. They've been too explosive. And you look at the scores from their past games, it's been too explosive. And it's just going to be Jaguars January. JJ. And I'll tell you what, if you're Josh Allen, you're looking at this week coming up, and this is big. This is a big week. You make a mistake here, you throw 2 interceptions on the Jaguars, you're losing. You're going home, and you're having a long off season. You're having a long talk about a Super Bowl. Because y'all have not won a away game. The Bills have not won. Josh Allen has not won a away playoff game. He has close ones. He's played against good quarterbacks. But all those quarterbacks are not dominant this year. He's the only one that's up there out of those 4. But a comment said this, I would take Jalen Hurts out of all 4 of those this year. And it's because of the overall team, but it's also because of the player. Because of the coaching. It's because of the defense and the offense. And that's why the Jaguars, they're going to have a chance at the Super Bowl. Now they're going to have to show offensive skill. They're going to have to keep teams low scoring, which they have all year long. And they have not shown a weak spot this year. Now hopefully it's not against Josh Allen's great Bills team, which they weren't this year. And there's a lot on the line in a playoff game. And it's going to be a good game. Can't wait. Also, game, I'll tell you what, let's give a clap for the Panthers. It's because of what they've done, It's been since what, 2019 since they made the playoffs. They've built this back up, their coaching staff. And Bryce Young, he's finally got it. Yes, they lost to Tampa on Saturday. And yes, they haven't had the greatest of years. 8-9 this year, But I'll tell you what, they made the playoffs somehow, some way. Falcons helped, but they made the playoffs. And I think I'm going to call it upset. They're going to win the first game. I think they're playing the Rams, one of the LA teams. But they're going to win the first game. They're probably going to lose in the close one the second game. But I'll tell you what, that's a marking point because they haven't made the playoffs each year. Unlike Josh Allen, who's had a path to the playoffs, had a path to a championship, and yet has never got one. This team has had a path. They're going to build on this, and they're going to be like an old-school college football team right here. The players are not going to all transfer out because they see hope in this team. They're going to have more talent next year, and they're going to build on next year. They're going to win the division again because I don't think Tampa Bay has it next year. Just look at it. Look what they have. They really didn't have it this year. Are they going to have it next year? Probably not. So that's why I think Panthers are going to win it This is a growing point in Panthers. Tight game. If they lose this game, they're still going to have a smile on their face because they made the playoffs. And they're going to have a competitive game. And I'm going to call this upset. They're a 10-point underdog. I don't like that. It's a home game for them. Yeah, they might not have the most fans. But like me, in South Carolina, don't have a team except for the Jaguars. But it's because of Trevor Lawrence. It's not because of my area. I go for the Panthers all day. And it's going to be it has been a year where they've been a good team compared to the past year since Cam Newton's first time in Charlotte. A lot of things happening in the NFL, and it's an open book. And that's why I think Josh Allen's his time's going to be up sooner than later. And I'll tell you a team that's been really bad, the Raiders. Just fired their coach again he was coach of the Seahawks. And, they've never been good. There's been just some of these teams, all the New York teams, the Jets, never been good, really. Panthers have not been good in a while. And these teams are slowly getting higher. And like the Chiefs, they're slowly getting lower. And now the gap's getting closer and closer. And for some reason, the stars of the show are not showing up. But people like Trevor Lawrence are showing up. Bryce Young, he's got his flow. Texas quarterback, he's doing pretty well. You see these little quarterbacks that have not been the talk all this year are finally getting these spots to win playoff games and possibly win a Super Bowl. And I'll tell you what, it might not be the prettiest playoffs because it's been low scoring, but it's going to be playoffs unlike others. And that just shows you right there, fog, because not many people are going to like it. Because a lot of people like repetition. A lot of people don't like to go in the new. And I don't like college football right now because it's in the new. But it's probably better for our game because we don't see dominant teams in the playoffs. And we don't see dominant teams in the NFL, I feel like. And it's going to come down to those teams who want it more. And that's not been the case in the past few years. Well, I'll tell you what. College hoops, they're doing pretty well. I can't wait for March. It's going to be a great March, I feel like. I've already seen, and again, there hasn't been a dominant team in 2025. And even in the World Series, that was a long time ago, but there really wasn't a dominant team. The Blue Jays almost won the World Series in the Game 7. Almost. Close. The LA Dodgers did win it. They have a lot of money there. Money, money, money. If you look at today's economy, it's all about money. If you look at people's lives, it's more money. It's a new year. It means new money out in the market. And players are thinking about that. Coaches are thinking about that. And teams are thinking about that. Look at all the Texas teams. They have a lot of oil money there. They have a lot of NIL deals there. They have people like Manning, They can pay players compared to smaller schools. Now, then you look up north. And I was just listening to the Pat McAfee show just a few days ago, and he was talking about up north, you see a lot of these teams coming back. Not from the South, not really from the SEC. They've been good in the past. But now these northern teams, now these people who have factories, they're starting to pay in. They're starting to buy in to college football because they see money and they see opportunities. Oh, we can win a championship. Think of Indiana. Yeah, there's big schools like Michigan, Ohio State, those teams. But think of Indiana, Think of Oregon. They've gotten a lot of money that the South really, it's being spread out. And now you're thinking, wait, if I give more money, my team will be better. More money, more wins. And that's what people were thinking in their heads. And then you're going to start. Should there be a cap on the money? Because some people have more money. Some teams get more money than others, than smaller teams. We'll see that in March Madness when we'll see a talent versus want. Well, that's the Eli Show. And I'll tell you what. New year. It's going to be great. 2026. I've said this already. I'll see you later. I'm Eli Tanner. This has been the Eli Show. Thanks for listening. Hit the subscribe button. Goodbye.